When you live for the feeling or the saying, this is never gonna work, you will feel the repercussions of it. And when I say it's a feeling and a saying, what I mean is, and I think there are a very select few people who really feel this way when someone talks about it, when someone says this is never going to work. When you live for that, when you live for the chance to say, nah, this is going to work, or I can do this, you will feel the repercussions of it. So what does that mean? Well, that's a good question. What does that mean? When you live for this is never going to work, you will feel the repercussions of it. You are going to go through so many emotions and so many thoughts and so many what ifs and what shoulds and what coulds and what is moments when you live for this is never going to work, and I don't think I'd want it any other way. And I know I say this quite a lot, but when someone says no, they are showing you their limitations, not yours. Because when you live for this is never going to work, you're always going to be the odd man out. That's really what it comes down to. You are always going to have people saying you should do this or you should do that, and they're always going to be giving you your opinions about how you should be and who you are and what you should do and etc. And I think when people are telling you that, that's how you know you're in it. If you have something inside you that's like, I want to do this thing, I want to do something more than average, I want to let the world know I was here, I want to let my potential out, I want to let my potential scream at the world. When you are surrounded by people who don't do that, who don't see life that way, you're going to be ridiculed. But to my point, that's how you know you're in it. That's how you know you're doing what you want to do. That's how you know you're living on your terms. Because everything else around you in this thing we call life is saying, wait a minute, why are you doing this? When you act on something that only you understand, that means the rest of the world or the rest of the people in your world will not understand it. And when it comes to not understanding something, people will either respect what they can't understand, fear what they can't understand, or ignore what they can't understand. And I know how this sounds, but when nobody understands you, I would say you're doing something right because you're doing something you truly want to do. So I wouldn't see it as a bad thing. Other people will see it as a bad thing because they aren't you. They don't understand what you understand because they don't think the way you think. I hope this does not sound like a God complex or something like that. I really hope it doesn't. When you live for this is never gonna work, you will feel the repercussions of it. And when people say this isn't going to work, what they really should be saying is, I don't understand. And like I said, people either respect, fear, or ignore what they don't understand. So if you're doing something you understand, if you're doing something you really want to do, when you are being true to who you are, that is when people will be true to you. When you live for, this is never gonna work, you will feel the repercussions of it. And when you feel the repercussions of it, that's how you know you're in the middle of it. Keep going. The world is yours. Dare to be great.